And until we start electing lawmakers that are not just up there going to get along, to be along, and insist that they represent the voices and the attitudes of South Georgia, we're not going to get anywhere. I believe it's time that South Georgia that have someone in Atlanta who will insist that the people of South Georgia start getting their fair share of the hundreds of millions of dollars so that we can create more jobs in South Georgia, so we can improve our infrastructure, to develop businesses ourselves, but most of all to bring public transportation to this region. But most importantly, my single most important reason that I am running for District 175 is because we need to protect our most vital resources, and that is our children. We must insist that the state constitution be followed and adhered to by lawmakers, and do no longer allow them to avoid adhering to the law. Georgia's primary obligation is public education, and that is so proved by Georgia State Constitution, Article 8, Section 1, Paragraph 1, which reads, public education, free public education prior to college and post-secondary level supported by taxation. The provision of an adequate public education for the citizens shall be the primary obligation of the state of Georgia. The primary obligation of the state of Georgia. Public education for the citizens prior to college or post-secondary level shall be free and shall be provided for by taxation. The expense of other public education shall be provided for in such a manner and in such amount as may be provided by law. Well, our lawmakers only took the last sentence. We can no longer allow, we must fight this upcoming charter school bill. The governor hasn't decided yet, but it will be signed in the next couple of days, and it hasn't been decided whether it's going to be in July or November. But that charter bill, which is House Bill 1162, would authorize the state to approve charter schools. I will work relentlessly to ensure that we get a no vote in either July or November. We must fight for legislation that would give our teachers the power to educate. We can no longer allow the state to pass bogus laws or bogus bills that they know will never be funded. Our teachers need their fair share of their tools in order to provide proper education for our students. And like Beckham said, we must fight to protect the Hope Scholarship. I met last Thursday with Hope for Georgia, and we met for about 4 hours after we had the Hope rally last Saturday. And less than 18% of folks in the 14 county region, which is called South Georgia, the South Georgia region, receives Hope Scholarship. And only 3% of those folks receive the new Zell Miller Scholarship, was definitely designed to benefit affluent folks above the perimeter. Each one of our local elected lawmakers voted for the charter school bill, and that is a disgrace. My other reason for running is something that a lot of us haven't been talking about, but we need to talk about, and that is the T-Splash, which is the Transportation Special Project Local Option Sales Tax. I am opposed to that tax, and I think after we start educating the citizens of South Georgia, you'll be opposed to it, and they will be as well. Putting another 1% is not good for South Georgia, and it will hurt the poor and middle class, and we can no longer allow that. But we'll talk about that a lot later in the future. I'm asking each one of you guys to talk to folks in your community. You know, we must energize the Democratic Party. We owe it to our folks. We owe it to the low and middle class who are under-supported, undervalued in Atlanta. I encourage all of you to go onto my website, which is jcforstaterep.com, or my email, or my Facebook page. We need your support, me and Beck, anyone, and we're encouraging you to go out and support other folks that may be considering running, because we need to energize this party, not just in Valdosta, but in Lanier, Brooks, Thomasville, Colquitt. We need to get our voice back. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you, JC. Again, we appreciate you putting yourself up for public service. Let me now call on Alan Lane for County Commission Super District 4. Alan?
Thank you very much. My name is Alan Lane. I'm from the area of Naylor, Georgia, where I grew up and been there 59 years. My purpose for running for the County Commission District 4 is J-O-B, jobs. Number one thing on my agenda is jobs. We need to be more friendly as far as for the business coming into Lowndes County, and for people have more jobs and better life. One thing about jobs create a great tax base if you got jobs. And I'm a firm believer that if we allow certain jobs to come in, good paying jobs come in, we have a greater tax base, as well as the commute of the people from other counties will come in here and spend money with us. I also serve on the steering committee, Valdosta steering committee at the Municipal Auditorium over here in Valdosta as well with Deacon McClellan there. I serve along with him and some of the others. We have a great project there on the table there, and we're looking forward to the challenge of trying to get that project going and working with it. It's a new day now, new times and everything. Many people in this day and time want to ride in a mule and wagon, but now we all driving Cadillacs. So we got to change too. We got to change our way of thinking. We got to change our thoughts, and we're gonna have to do a better job on what we're doing. We need to be concerned about those who are less fortunate, and that's one of my pet peeves as well. JOB will take care of a lot of things. Good jobs coming here in Lowndes County, in this area, will take care of a whole lot of things because you have a great tax base, you have more money to work with. I was talking to some of my neighbors in my area, and I was always thought in my concern that they wanted some of the road paved. But there are some people in my neighborhood don't want the road paved. So my thing is, if I'm elected, we're going to sit down about every 3 or 4 months, and we're going to sit down and have a round-the-fire type chat, and we're going to talk. We're going to find out, what do you want? What do you want? And that's very important. Instead of we forcing things off on people and whatever, let's find out, what do you want? What's in the best interest for everybody as a whole? That's the most key thing that I'm a firm believer in, and this is what I'm all about.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Again, we appreciate you putting yourself up for public service. Do we have any other candidates? WG.
I am finishing up my second term as your tax assessor, which is Lowndes County is the only county in the state that we elect our tax assessors. Across the state, the other 158 counties, they're appointed by the county commission. I kind of like putting the fox in the hen house there. So it's better to us being elected by the people of Lowndes County, representing Lowndes County. We answer to Lowndes County. We do not answer to the Lowndes County Commissioner. So I will be going for re-election coming up in May. But one thing what happened in our last election that I'd like to bring to everybody's attention again, yes, we do have President Obama running, but we also have W.G. Walker running the tax assessor. We need to go the whole complete ticket. That was a major problem in the last election. A lot of people went and voted for Obama for president, which is great, but they forgot about everybody else that was running. We had a chance to take out several of the people in the, not only in the House, but even in the Senate. And it did not happen because people just went for one reason, to vote for president. We have got to remember we've got a ticket, and it needs to be vote, the whole complete ticket. Thank you.
Thank you, WG. We appreciate your continued public service. Thank you very much. Any other candidates? We'll have an opportunity next month also to hear from candidates. Qualifying is going to be at the end of May. It's only half a week this time. From Wednesday, 9 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday, May 23rd, to 12 noon on Friday, May 25th. Let me now turn to Chairperson's report, starting with membership. Lou McClendon.
Good evening, everybody. And I'm glad to see so many of you came out this evening. Let me tell you something. November is right here. In order for us to do well, we have to start right now, getting people, recruiting people to come to these meetings, making sure that they get registered. This is the time of the year that we have to say, don't give in, don't give up, and don't give out. You see what's happening? Somebody is going to say to you, well, why should I do this? Obama didn't do nothing. Well, I tell you what you do. You sit home and see what the Republicans have in store for you. Okay? I would like to tell you that just a few things you can talk about if you're in the age group where you're going to be getting Medicare, using Medicare, and if you got an extra $6,000, maybe you don't need Obama. Maybe you don't need the Democratic Party. If you talking about getting your Social Security cut back, maybe you don't need the Democratic Party. And for you women, they're going to cut out your parent care. Okay? And 97% of that was taking care of women that did not have the funds, did not have the means to get their medical cares taken care of. Think about yourself. If you had not been to the doctor for the last 10 years, you would probably at this point be shaking hands with people you used to know, because you've got to have that medical care. And last, we talk about taxes. They want you to think that it's only the rich that's going to pay the taxes. You're going to pay some taxes too, when they're going to tax you and you don't even have a job to pay it. We must wake up and smell the coffee. It's good to have all of these folks out here, but every time we have a meeting, you need to bring somebody. Every time you're on that TV, sometime go over there and look at the Republican station and see what they're talking about. because sometimes folks get the lying on you, but if you don't know what the lie is, you cannot defend yourself. So what I'm saying to you in a nutshell, that this is the time that we put it all together. 2010, we became complacent. And now you see they're fixing it. They're sending us back into slavery. Poll tax. They call it different names, but that's all it is. Let us wake up. Let us get on the job, because these folks that came out here and said that they are running, we must support them if we want to put them in office. You cannot have a change if you are not in office to cast your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lou. You've got your charge. Bring someone to the next meeting. We are really now gearing up for the election season. Again, qualifying at the end of May. The general primary is going to be on July 31st. Let me say something about Democratic candidates and the posture of the Lowndes County Democratic Party. The party itself will not endorse any candidates who are running opposed, Democrat against Democrat. We will let the voters decide who they want, that we will let Democratic voters decide who they want their candidate to be. Then when we have our candidates, we will support the slate top to bottom. We have always put out slate cards with all of the offices, all of the Democrats who are running. We will do that again, and then go into the general election on November the 6th. Let me make a brief report on behalf of the chairman. Gretchen's daughter has gotten a job. We're delighted here. Actually, she's gotten 2 jobs, and so she's doing very well. She's moving. This is spring. She's a teacher. This week is spring break. Gretchen's up in Philadelphia helping her move, and we wish her well. Let me also report on the state committee meeting, which we had on Saturday. Some of you have probably picked up some noises that some folks are hoping that the state Democratic Party would do more than it's doing. I think we all hope that it would do more than it's doing. The key to its doing more than it's doing and getting folks elected at the national level and at the state level and at the local level is that we support the state Democratic Party. It's a 3-tiered structure with the Democratic National Committee at the top, the Democratic Party of Georgia at the state level, the Lowndes County Democratic Party. We are the official organ of the Democratic Party in Lowndes County. We need all of us to be working together to make sure that we elect Democrats at the national level, the state level, and at the local level. And we're committed to doing that. Let me announce a few upcoming events that are on the agenda, but I want to bring to your attention. This Wednesday, there will be a memorial observance, a Martin Luther King memorial observance at the MLK Memorial Park at 7 o'clock. If you can, if you would, please attend that. We will elect delegates to the Democratic National Convention. The Democratic National Convention will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the first week of September. The delegates to that are elected in part by congressional district. All of the Democrats in the district caucus. If you live in the 1st Congressional District, which is essentially all of Lowndes County except a little bit west of I-75, if you live in the 1st Congressional District, the 1st Congressional District stretches from here to the outskirts of Savannah. The 1st Congressional District will have its caucus at the Ware County Courthouse in Waycross. If you live in the 2nd Congressional District, which is the bit of Lowndes County west of I-75, plus Bucks and Thomas County, going all the way to the outskirts of Columbus, their 2nd Congressional District will caucus in Dawson, which is in Terrell County. Dawson's a little bit above Albany, between Albany and Columbus. we have candidates running to be delegates to the Democratic National Convention. I know that Gretchen has put in paperwork to run in the 1st Congressional District. I understand Joyce Gibson. Joyce, are you here? Okay. Joyce has put in the paperwork to run in the 2nd Congressional District. Is there anybody else who has filed to be a delegate to the Democratic National Convention? Yes. George Brown in the second Congressional District. So we have candidates from Lowndes County who are running to be delegates at the Democratic National Convention. It is a wonderful opportunity. I was a delegate in 2000, an alternate delegate in 2008 in Denver. It's a great chance to meet with Democrats from across the country, to get energized, to come back and help elect Democrats again at the national level, at the state level, and at the local level. So please, if you would, on Saturday, April 21st, go to the Democratic caucus, help elect fellow Lowndes Countyans to represent us at the Democratic National Convention. Registration starts at 8 in the morning and closes at noon. If you're not there by noon, you will not have an opportunity to vote in the caucus. So please, if you would, come out and support fellow Lowndes Countyans. To support the Democratic Party of Georgia, their big fundraiser is the Jefferson Jackson Dinner. That will take place on Saturday, April 28th, starting with a reception at 5 in the evening at the Georgia World Congress Center. We usually have a table of folks going to that. At this point, we have 5 people signed up for that. We need some more folks to sign up to go. There's a sign-up sheet that Ariel has at the table, and I'd like to recognize and thank our intern Ariel, who's with us. Thank you, Ariel. This is the way that we help support the state party, so that it in turn